Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Tyson Popplestone here. Thank you for stopping by. Now, today I was having a flick through an old interview from a news program, a so-called news program from here in Australia. It's called The Project. I'm not sure how bad they were back in 2015 when this interview was actually recorded, but I mean, the quality of the show has diminished pretty rapidly since then. And it's diminished from a pretty low standard, if I may say so. Yeah, that's nothing against the host. We've got Peter Hallier, we've got Carrie Bickmore, we've got Fifi Box, we've got Waleed Ali. I mean, they seem lovely enough. They seem beautiful. I'm not having a go at them. I think my issue with the particular structure around this interview is the very structure itself. There's only a limited amount that you can find out from a bloke in a 20-minute segment. But I think part of what we love about this, and part of what so many of us loved, it's had 4.5 million views on YouTube. The comments have gone wild. And you can see that even the audience members, the panel members, and Russ himself seems to be having a fair bit of fun. So today, I wanted to have a look at this interview and break down what the heck's going on and why is it so nice to see a bloke like Russell Brand come into a news program like The Project and mix things up.
And he's here to recruit you.
Now, Carrie Bickmore, I bloody love this woman. Everyone in Australia loves her. There's not much you can fault her on. She's pretty, she's lovely, she's friendly, she's got a great smile, but she works for an organisation like any mainstream establishment media. It only gives you a certain fragment of time to be able to introduce, to get to the nitty-gritty and try and unpack what it is that any of the guests that on the show have to say. And as a result, Carrie would tell you this, it results in corny little introductions like that.
And he's here to recruit you.
And from that point, it goes into like a 1.5 minute overview of Russell Brand's life, because I've been inside mainstream media before and I understand there's a pretty tight timeline. And if you go over even by a couple of seconds, things can get pretty crazy. So the main goal with a TV show like this is not the TV show itself, but the ads in between. Now, I think it's important as well to remember that this is like a 7:30 TV show. So there's plenty of kids watching this, which the panel members often remind him of. They say, now look, Russ, I know you're a bit of a wild man. You're happy to go off cusp quite a little bit, but understand that we've got to lose some sponsorship here if you get a little bit crazy. So make sure you're not saying dick and balls, and don't make any reference to the sex that you had in Hollywood, because we know there's a whole heap of it.
You were knee deep in Hollywood a few years ago. You had,
Not knee deep, Peter. You're in Hollywood and you stop at the knee, you've misread the instructions.
This is what's so popular and so refreshing about a video clip like this, in my opinion, is I just called it a video clip, like I was in 1994. I'm disappointed in myself, and I'd like to note that I noticed it happened, all right? But this is one of the beautiful things about a bloke like Russ, is Pete delivers the question, and he says it in quite a respectable way that any 15-year-old or 12-year-old eating their dinner in front of the TV with their parents could understand. Russ takes it by the scruff of the neck and takes it to a whole new location.
I get the impression the experience maybe wasn't as great as you were hoping, or how did you survive that experience?
Don't try to resolve inner maladies with any external stimuli or you'll be disappointed.
Russell Brand here has this incredible ability to go from so silly and simplistic, almost childlike, in the way that he's answering the questions in a very gentle, carefree manner. And then a question just from out of the blue gets thrown to him, and he'll start going off on a tangent about the importance of spirituality and about the importance of understanding that material things aren't going to satisfy that God-shaped hole within your heart. Only the spirit itself can do those kind of things. And he starts talking about it openly, and everyone on the program goes, what the fuck? We thought we were just here to talk about your comedy tour, and now we're talking about the Hindi God.
In the last month, we have ourselves a new Prime Minister, Malcolm Turnbull. Do you have an opinion on him yet?
Here is that opinion now.
Let's be honest, no one pays attention to who the Australian Prime Minister is. I don't even think half the Australians know who the Australian Prime Minister is. 2015, I think, if my memory serves me correctly, we were going through quite a few of them here. So the fact that Russ has any idea who this is highly questionable.
What you put really, really rich people in charge of your country for, who want to build a thing called a tax shield. I want a tax shield. Also, what's that thing? He goes, like, he's got money in the Cayman Islands, but there's nothing wrong with it. Having your money in the Cayman Islands is like putting your dick into custard. We all want to do it, but there's no rational reason to do it.
And this is peak Russell Brand back in 2015, from what I remember, throwing out a stat like that and then remembering, all right, we're at dinner time, the kids are going to be watching, there's a certain amount of things that you're allowed to say and what you're not allowed to say, and then throws to put your dick in a tub of custard.
I'm nervous to ask this, but you did say at the start of the year that you were considering attempting celibacy. Is that something that you have continued with?
Now, this is the funny thing with established media as well, because they dress professionally, the music is professional, they act as though they're professional. These are the guys that we have to listen to, so they have the right to ask very deep and personable questions as long as they're asked in a particular way. But Russ understands the essence of the question.
What do you want to know about me? My private life.
Well, you've gone from...
What I do with my penis at bedtime. Bizarre inquiry.
Now, if you want to go and have a look at the full video, you can do that. I've linked it down in the description below. Go and check that out. But what did you guys make of that? What is it that makes an interview like that so appealing to us? I think the structures and the confinements that come with just mainstream media allow us to say, okay, well, this is acceptable and these are the professionals, though that's slowly breaking down the more and more they get every single thing they report on wrong. But at the time, I don't think even in 2015, it was quite as well known that these kind of organisations aren't as trustworthy as maybe they once were, or weren't. I don't know how things were in the 50s and who was going to call them out on their mistakes anyway. So my question is, what is it, in your opinion, that makes an interview like this stand out so profoundly? Is it based on the fact that Russ just turns the structures on their head? Is it based on the fact that, for whatever reason, the media seem to be on the back foot rather than whoever it is that they're interviewing? I want you to let me know in the comments below. I've got more of these videos coming out every week. Make sure you hang around, subscribe. We'll discover what on earth is happening here together. We'll unpack, uncover, discover. That was a cool little rhyme and maybe a little bit too enthusiastic to go out on. So hit subscribe, hit like. Even if you didn't like it, it would be greatly appreciated. And let's continue our conversation down in the comments below.